Oh, here we go. Okay, this is the video people have been asking about. If Simply doesn't watch this, I will put my hand in a blender, exposing the strangest scandal in speedrunning. Okay, the Biinny expose video. It is 26 minutes, so we'll give it a try.
On June 13th of
We'll give it a
this
try.
year, Biinny posted an update in his Discord server promising he was mentally and physically able to fulfill his outstanding orders. However,
All right, wait, I was not listening.
On June 13th of this year, Biinny posted an update in his Discord server promising he was mentally and physically able to fulfill his outstanding orders. However, as of today, he has yet to send them out or provide any sort of communication to any of his buyers.
No.
And honestly, I'm not sure he ever will. With a history of not meeting deadlines and false promises, I think it's finally time to talk about BrewStix64.
Alright, here we go.
I've previously made a video about Nintendo 64 sticks, but to quickly explain why this topic is significant, let's go back to 2016. In February of that year, Linus Hoffman posted on Nintendo 64 Forever about his plans for a steel stick and bowl module. This is important because the N64 stick is quite fragile and very weak due to its plastic components that wear down from rubbing on each other constantly. In contrast, a steel stick and bowl module makes it much more durable and reduces the friction significantly. As expected, the response was overwhelmingly positive because everyone wanted a module that would never need replacement and would save speedrunners, Smash players, and anyone who heavily uses the N64 controller a lot of money. Saving money is a major factor, especially considering the limited supply of good condition N64 controllers and components. Finding adequate modules for speedrunning will become increasingly difficult. By 2019, Linus had sold his last stick, and his project, SteelStix64, was left with only caps, bowls, and buttons, with very infrequent restocks. With SteelStix64 no longer available, we needed
everyone who makes steel sticks ends up going missing,
man. A promising alternative had emerged a year earlier. Between 2018 and 2019, Prestige 64 gained significant traction. However, after showcasing his first completed module, he only shipped out 26 more modules before announcing on Halloween of 2020 that he would no longer fulfill any remaining orders and that all customers would receive a refund. By 2021, we were in desperate need of a new solution, and luckily, a more promising project was on the horizon. Known for speedrunning Super Mario 64, Biinny had built a solid reputation and cultivated a pretty large following as one of the top Super Mario 64 streamers on Twitch. His approach was unique. Rather than using new strats, he developed his own, which occasionally worked against him. Despite this, Biinny's consistency was honestly impressive, and that was what mattered most to him. Unfortunately for everyone though, his latest business venture was about to change things dramatically. On February 9th, 2021, Biinny tweeted, "BrewStix orders have begun. It's time." The initial tweet was hit with lots of excitement from his Discord. People had been waiting on this since fall 2020, and the excitement was for good reason. Everyone was so excited for a chance at a perfect module that they'd never have to replace, and Biinny was promising just that. With the creation of the waitlist, people were even more excited than before, and just 10 days later, Biinny tweeted, "I can't believe it. 6 months of hard work, prototypes, and a load of money. We finally have the final version of BrewStix." Hype just kept growing for BrewStix, and a month later, he showed off his first completed module, and it was beautiful. Throughout the rest of 2020, Biinny would drop gears and bowls on his Etsy for people to purchase. The modules, bowls, and gears were all being sent out, and everyone was loving them, as expected. But out of the blue, a respected member of the community known as Zine64 had some interesting complaints. Started running into an issue with my BrewStix64 module. Whenever I tilt my controller goes up to 4 to 5 values to the left. So if I accidentally hold it wrong and reset a run, my angles will be shifted to the left by 4 to 5 values. I don't know if it is the stick or the gears or the optical encoder wheels because I do not want to open it. To be fair, my gameplay does not change at all from the angle shift, but it's kinda annoying to know my angles will shift to the right randomly. As he stated, 4 to 5 values doesn't affect that much, but it can change muscle memory and cause unwanted movements. It's annoying when you spend hundreds of dollars on something that doesn't work properly. So Zine, he was met with a refund offer, but Zine didn't want to take that because he had been waiting 6 months for the stick. So he went to Twitter, hoping Biinny would provide a better solution or somebody in the community could help out. However, Biinny was not happy about Zine's decision to take it to Twitter. "I've been more than fair, Zine. The moment you claimed there was an issue, I offered you a full refund. That offer still stands despite you disassembling it when asked not to." Zine responded saying that the issue was fixed, and that's because he replaced the bowl with a SteelStix64 bowl, something Biinny had asked him not to do. Regardless, the situation was sort of resolved, at least for Zine. Biinny's response was hit with heavy backlash by a member of the community named Volantis. "Zine drew attention to his issue and you ignored the issue. This isn't the only time. Your customer service is non-existent. He doesn't want a refund, he wants a great stick. Your product seems to be great, but I'd never buy one from you because you don't understand that. How is offering a full refund not a reasonable option? As I've previously mentioned, if I were able to replicate the issue he's experiencing, I would offer to fix it. Forgive me if I don't give you the benefit of the doubt here. I've seen nothing but bad stuff about your brew sticks. Not the product, the release, and lack of transparency. A refund is an option, but that is the only thing you offer whenever anyone complains. Again, he doesn't want a refund, he wants a good stick. If it's a one-off issue, offering a replacement and having it shipped back to you so you can check it out and try to figure out the issue is the bare minimum. It's a premium product, you need to provide good service. If it's a potential issue that could impact more than just this stick, you'd want to have that module to test it out and see. You should be paying for shipping that one back as well as shipping out a replacement. You didn't specify shipping if you'd cover, so I'm assuming, given how long it's been and how many people are still waiting, there's no chance in hell. If I were Zine, I'd want to send it back, given I would have no idea when I'd see one again. I truly hope your product is successful. I know you've put a ton of work into it, but sales isn't just about the product. Whether or not you agree with Volantis, I think we can all agree this is not the way to respond to his criticism. Quick update, BrewStix64 will no longer be sold in batches. I'm not putting myself out to do a good thing to only get shit on from people I don't even know. Appreciate everyone in here supporting the project up until this point. So what changes for the people on the waitlist with that? Just doing it person by person? No, there is no waitlist anymore. The project is closed. Just kidding. After even more backlash, Biinny brought it back on the exact same day. In Biinny's defense, he had fronted a lot of money for the project, and he was working alone, a huge undertaking. I believe he handled it really badly, but at the end of the day, the project was back, and Zine was happy. Surely that's the end of the controversy, right?
Here we go.
The end of 2021 into the beginning of 2022 was uneventful for BrewStix. With people from the first waitlist still receiving their products, they had nothing but praise for Biinny and his modules. Unfortunately though, in fall of 2022, things were about to change for the worst. On September 4th and November 13th, Biinny listed pre-order modules on his Etsy. Sounds harmless, but he was promising a 2 to 3 month lead time, something he had never been able to hit in the past. For reference, the first waitlist took about 6 to 12 months of waiting time. Because of this, people were skeptical, but not nearly enough for the modules not to sell out really quickly. People were hopeful and were not going to pass on the chance for a forever stick. Now all that was left was to play the waiting game. November and December was all excitement for the community, with everyone hyped for their sticks. With the September drops lead time approaching quickly, people would ask about wait times, but with no clear answer ever given. People were getting a little worried. If Biinny did give an answer, it was always to message on Etsy, but as we'll get to later, it really didn't do much. By January of the new year, the lead time was quickly approaching, and this is what Biinny had to say. When there is an update, I will post and message you on Etsy. I'm ensuring you get the product you are expecting. Please stand by. It's so easy for me to just pump out shit stuff, but I'm trying to create a precision tool that people can use for years to come. I will have an update soon though. I know soon is vague and could mean a day or a month, but I don't want to give an exact date in case I can't update at that time. Just know I'm doing everything I can behind the scenes to ensure you get what you're expecting and the wait will be worth. On January 14th, somebody asked for another update, and unsurprisingly, Biinny gave the same response he always did. On the 21st, he listed some bulls on Etsy, which was surprising given that he still hadn't fulfilled any of the orders that he owed people. He was already past the lead time for September orders, so why was he not prioritizing those? Then, 5 days later, a user named Lopez posted a picture in Biinny's server showing that a completed module had finally arrived. The packaging looked impressive and made the product appear very premium, giving hope that the rest of the orders would soon follow. Modules started to roll in, and reviews from Etsy were being posted, but it was now well past the promised lead time. Why was everything so delayed? And why did Biinny think he could fulfill all those orders in just 3 months? It feels like he was setting himself up for failure. He knew there was high demand for the product and how much of a perfectionist he is, so why didn't he limit the orders? As expected by now, Biinny was slowly getting the orders out, which was unacceptable given his promises. The Etsy reviews were starting to turn negative, not because of the product itself, which nobody criticized, but because of Biinny's poor customer service. The limited communication and lack of transparency were causing buyers to go to Etsy and leave 1-star reviews. One person even said, "Initial impressions are great, very snappy and smooth, finds notches very well, minimal dead zone and Z-play. The module is packaged well, no complaints about how it's designed, salvaged OEM components seem to be nicely selected. Why I rated this 1 star? Communication and transparency need to be improved. Failed to inform updates and last minute announcements for promised announcement times. Future advice, customers are investing a couple hundred into modules and parts. Many of us are willing to wait and be patient. Suppose it is difficult to meet deadlines or quality issues. It's better to update early and often that more time is needed than to leave supporters in the dark." Now, I don't want to say everything is negative. Many orders came in throughout 2023, and they were met with very positive feedback. However, the situation still felt shady. He was listing other items for sale while providing very little communication about the ETA of the modules people had already purchased. Over the summer, he made a Twitter account, but instead of providing updates and clarity to the people who have now waited 9 months, he chose to post about a world record by Green Sweegie that he did on BrewStix. Oh, and yeah, that one also arrived late. If we focus on his Twitter throughout the year, Biinny mostly posted about restocks and future projects, updates that didn't matter to anyone who had been waiting over 9 months. Then, on July 22nd, 2023, Biinny made a post that felt outright disrespectful to those who had purchased their sticks in 2020.
I do have a steel stick. I have a Houdini. I don't even know if I felt, like, maybe I felt the brew stick before, but yeah, this shit is We're getting to the juice. It's coming.
BrewStix64 vend at Global
I don't want to
Speedrun
spoil
Pace
it
in
for the
2024.
people that don't
To clarify,
know.
the Global Speedrun Association, also known as GSA, hosts a biannual convention called Pace. Biinny was essentially asking if he should go there to sell modules, sticks, and bowls, items that were still owed to people who had already paid him. Items that were still owed to people who had already paid him almost a year prior. Something that may not be entirely clear by this point is that people were scared to say negative things about
Liam
Biinny
has a
publicly
prestige stick.
due to that interaction between him and Zion in 2022. People didn't want Biinny to close the project again because this time he had their money, and many still had hope of receiving the module. Along with that, if you spoke out against him, it could jeopardize your chance at ever getting a module or a stick from him. And of course, as I've stated before, his sticks are very, very desirable. If I'm being honest, this video will probably cause me to be blacklisted, when I really do want a module of his because he makes very high quality products. Luckily for me, I already have an Houdini stick, but still, it's sad.
Yep,
Padronis
I
was
got
the
one
first
too.
to speak up about the unfulfilled
Shout out to
orders,
Houdini.
and as we all expected, Biinny didn't respond. Since this Twitter account was, and still is, pretty small, the tweet didn't get much attention. However, the fact that Padronis' tweet almost had more likes than his, it made it clear people were upset and felt they had to stay silent. Thankfully, there was one other person who was also standing up for people who hadn't received their modules: Joshua Waterman. Joshua was our strongest advocate, responding to all of BrewStix64's tweets, criticizing him about the sticks by posting pictures of the module he received. He even left a 1-star review, stating, "Module arrived feeling great in the notches, is light, tight, and the gate gears used are in great quality as well. The project creator Biinny delivered a quality product, however, is very rude to his customers if they say something critical of his project. It is worth noting that the seller is also entirely incapable of maintaining a single deadline, even self-imposed deadlines. The creator has taken every step possible to eliminate transparency on this project. I cannot in good faith recommend anyone give their money to Biinny. Quality 10 out of 10, customer service 0 out of 10, shipping fine." In August, Biinny continued to dodge questions and post about anything but the modules that he hadn't fulfilled, even leading to this wonderful interaction. I'm just a bit
That's
worried.
the part that I don't get. Like, I feel like, I mean, it's obviously like the biggest, you know, forehead, whatever, like, but it just doesn't make sense how you can open up shop for more modules when there's already a wait list. I don't understand how that happened.
About missing-
Like, he just kind of dug himself into a hole for seemingly no good reason. He just wants money.
announcements on Twitter as things get lost in the noise. Discord is a lot easier to get notified instantly for things like this. Just follow the x/Twitter page and turn on notifications, and you won't miss any. Thumbs up. This felt somewhat odd because the Discord server had always been a reliable place for updating the most involved members of the community, while Twitter only had posts about restocks, which didn't address the need for more information about where people's modules are. After this, Biinny even went on to say, "This Discord isn't for BrewStix64 and is my personal Discord for my Twitch community.
Okay,
Over
buddy.
time, it's become a hub for BrewStix64 things, and it's lost its original purpose. This has been useful for some time when BrewStix64 was very niche, but it's gone way beyond just the people in the Discord now. Even if I do post updates here, I still need to send them to everyone anyway because I don't know who has and hasn't seen it. Outside of following the x/Twitter page, you can always
I have a steel stick. Also, like, okay, there are definitely people that, like, want steel sticks that don't have them, but, like, generally most runners have been able to get their hands on a steel stick, whether it's like a prestige stick or a fucking nomad stick, Houdini. There are some brew sticks out there, sticks, steel bowls. Like, a lot of people
just
have
follow
gotten
the shops
steel
on
sticks.
Etsy and eBay, and you'll be notified when I restock items.
I
This
wonder
post will be
if the actual number is posted, how many people are still on the wait
completely
list.
acceptable if he was providing any sort of transparency on any of those platforms. The Twitter account has a total of 8 tweets, and not a single one of them provides any clarity for the fall orders. It's not even that buyers were that upset about the wait time. People understand that these items are really difficult to produce. Even though he had set a lead time he had no chance of meeting, more transparency about the situation could have earned him a lot of forgiveness. Unfortunately, as always, Biinny showed no inclination to change his ways, leaving only hope that he...
Does steel bowl work? Like, just steel bowl and you have a regular stick? And I don't think that there is any, there's no, like, unanimous best stick. I think everyone has, like, a different preference. Nomad sticks were really fucking good. He had a really promising stick. And he had, like, the ability to make it tighter or looser really easily, which was, like,
might send
I think the most important thing is just how much resistance it has.
Your order or give you a refund. Many people were receiving their orders, and as usual, they were high quality. However, with a year having passed since their purchase,
The classic N64 stick is perfect. The only problem with it is it wears down really easily. Like that's the whole point of this. The sticks wear out in like 3 to 6 months.
a large number of remaining buyers were worried about whether they'd ever receive their modules. To make matters worse during this period of uncertainty, Biinny went silent on November 15th. Of course, he had to post about selling his cases just 6 days earlier, but after that, there was no further communication from him. On January 27th, 2024, we finally heard from Biinny. He explained that he moved and he wasn't set up yet, and promised to be in touch with everyone soon. While it was completely unacceptable to leave your customers in the dark for over 2 months, this behavior was unfortunately typical for Biinny, as you've probably gathered. So, as usual, everyone continued to wait. At this point, you might be wondering why nobody's asking for refunds. The truth is, in late 2022 and early 2023, Biinny was offering refunds. However, few buyers were willing to take them. It would seem silly to refund after getting on an exclusive pre-order list for a highly desirable item, especially given the precedent set by SteelStix64's similar wait time. Unfortunately, this may be the point of no return. Soon after his post about moving, he did the exact opposite of what he promised. He ignored messages on Etsy and eBay, as well as those in his Discord server, which had by then become a hub for complaints rather than his Twitch stream, which he had stated before was the intention. The server turned into a wasteland, with Biinny no longer streaming or saying anything. The original purpose of the server faded, and discussions about modules became its sole purpose in his absence. I have an open question pending on Etsy and would like to see an answer from you about my module order. Thanks. Will you please respond to Etsy messages and refund me my money? Please respond to my Discord DM or Etsy message.
It's just Donut Wall, man.
Same, but eBay. Please respond to my Etsy PM. Thanks. I'd like a response to my Etsy message too, please. I thought Etsy would be the best place for updates and questions. Sag, I hope you'll get your answers as soon as possible. Sent another Etsy message, hoping to get a response and an update on the status of my module. Understand and appreciate there has been a move, but even a vague timeline would be appreciated given how...
I do think, you know, not to victim blame, the nature of these sticks, like, you spent enough time, like, waiting, like, you check out... No, I'm not defending it. It's total bullshit, but I'm just saying, like, there are multiple people that are making sticks. Like, if you're on top of it and you're like really needing a stick, like there's ways to get them, or at least get a bowl, like from Steel Sticks, or like when Biinny restocks or whatever, you know, like it's kind of like, I mean, yeah, I guess if you really want the Biinny stick, but like multiple people have been able to make a steel stick, you know. I feel like there's a point where it's like you kind of have to cut your losses and be like, yeah, like maybe I should try getting a stick from somewhere else. So what, just minus 350 if you already paid for it? Well, he was offering refunds. Like he at this point he was willing to give people refunds, but people are like, he's saying people don't want to do it because they've already waited so much, or they want to stay on the wait list.
These orders already are. I'm sure it's overwhelming, but a public statement / reaching out to each of us personally is definitely something that should be done. This became the only topic of discussion, and on March 8th, 2024, Biinny locked the server, effectively getting rid of the ability to reach him publicly. A quick message from my BrewStix64 customers, posting here and privately. I sincerely apologize for being silent as of late. I am of course still here, and BrewStix64 is going nowhere.
Okay.
I've had a lot going on in my life recently, some of which I don't feel comfortable sharing at the moment. I've also had to go into surgery myself, but I will update more in the near future. In the meantime, I likely won't be responding to messages while I recover. As soon as I am back on my feet, I will be in touch. After this, it was all silence until June 13th, when we finally figured out where Biinny had been. To summarize this post, Biinny and his wife Nicole had moved back to the UK, as they had previously lived in Colorado. His mother fell unwell from a terminal lung condition, causing her to be hospitalized. Around that same time, Biinny had an accident that damaged his hand very badly, to the point where I can't show it in this video. He mentioned the pressure the outstanding orders had on him, and it took a toll on his mental health. And finally, he took some sort of accountability for what he has done, stating, I realize the timeline for modules has been completely unacceptable, and acknowledge some customers are understandably...
Snowy, thank you for the $3. Can't wait to hear this. Let it rip.
Okay, not to victim blame. But if you got one of these sticks, man, you're just stupid as fuck, man. Ha 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 ha. What a jackass. Ha 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 ha. Idiot. Ha 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 ha. Just do us all a favor and use it best to cut.
Tired and weary of waiting. Errors made by the manufacturer early caused significant delays and costs, which I genuinely tried my best to avoid by ordering multiple samples prior to the production run. This means I'm now in a position where the only viable way forward is to deliver the product. I have been a part of the Mario 64 community for over a... decade at this point, and understand better than most the struggles with N64 controllers. What started out as a bit of a side project turned into something much greater than I could have expected. I wholeheartedly pursued this idea with good intent and wanted to provide a much needed service for the community. With the benefit of hindsight, I can clearly see the shortcomings of my efforts and wish I would have gone about things differently. It's entirely possible I've been too particular about the quality of modules to a fault.
Yo, I just got here. Could you reset the video? Yeah, I got you, man.
On June
So this is just about the Biinny BrewStix thing.
13th of this year, Biinny posted an update in his Discord server promising he was mentally and physically able to fulfill his outstanding orders. However, a much needed service for the community. With the benefit of hindsight, I can clearly see the shortcomings of my efforts and wish I would have gone about things differently. It's entirely possible I've been too particular about the quality of modules to a fault, but I want to be proud of the work I produce and feel confident in its ability to perform long term. That said, I'm now mentally and physically at a point where I feel capable of producing solid work again, and will once again begin shipping outstanding orders to customers. At no point have I ever considered disappearing for good and abandoning my customers. To put this into perspective, as of today, I've shipped over 1,000 BrewStix64 parts and accessories, of which over 100 have been modules. I currently have around 30 to 40 remaining, and I fully intend to ship all remaining orders. I hope this sheds some light on what's been going on in my life, and just know I'm doing everything I can to deliver your module order.
Okay.
Biinny. While I empathize with Biinny and understand how challenging it must have been to navigate life with his mother's illness, as well as the pressure of hundreds of people waiting on him, he was fully aware of what he was doing. Even before he injured his hand and moved, he was already almost a year past his lead time, which is unacceptable regardless of circumstances. And can you guess what he didn't do after this post? That's right, he didn't respond to people, kept his Discord locked, remained silent on Twitter, and disappeared completely. By now, you might be wondering what the DMs looked like with Biinny, what kind of support he is getting.
I am confused on the model of... Was the Steel Sticks waitlist also, like, you have to pay and then you're on the list? Because that feels like a pretty shitty model. Like, you'd think it should be like, you know, you just are on the list, and then when it's ready, then you pay, and then it gets shipped. Like, you're not paying and then just waiting forever.
And why people are so upset with it? Well, I was too. I reached out to some people about their experience with Biinny. I still never received mine. I messaged him several times, no response. I asked for a refund also and never got it. He just stole my $350. Any progress on the modules? I would like to inquire for a refund, please. Hi, there isn't really any news other than the orders are still shipping slowly. I completely understand you're tired of waiting, and I can process you a full refund, no problem. Let me know if that's what works best for you. Yes, I'll take a refund. Thank you.
Yo, Snowy, thank you for the 3.
Yeah, man. I mean, if you're dumb enough to buy these sticks, you deserve to get scammed. Yeah, man. I just wish I thought of this idea myself. Yeah, man. Yeah. Yeah, man. Oh, yeah. Anyways, Liam, come back. I miss you.
I guess, you know, now's a better time than ever to announce Jackass Sticks. Guys, $500. I am making the best sticks. They are tested. Perfect angles. You can get on the wait list now. The order should be there within a month. Link below.
No problem. I'll issue your full refund within 7 to 10 business days. I apologize again for the disappointment. Thanks, Biinny. Hi, Biinny. Sorry to bother again. It has been 10 business days since you said you had processed my refund. Can you confirm that it was processed? Thank you. Just to be clear, I have not received it. Can I please have a refund, Biinny? I got laid off and really need the money. Thank you. Haven't received my module yet, and he is not responding anymore.
Okay,
I
that's
purchased it in July 2023, and it was supposed to arrive in November 2023. Up until now, it never did. This one was unique because this was a bowl order that was actually late. I wasn't aware that any of the bowl orders were actually coming in late, which is really interesting. But apparently this person received their items, so I think it's all good.
350 is also, like, isn't that, like, by far the most for any stick? I think for my Houdini, I paid, like, maybe 100? 150? Like, I don't think they ever went over like 150.
I did pay for a module in September 2022 and haven't received it yet. There were times in very late 2022 and early 2023, I believe, where he proposed the idea of refunding anyone who hasn't received one yet, since the delay was unexpected at the time. I did not request a refund. I definitely expected a delay, knowing how SteelSticks has and had such a huge waitlist and how long it takes Linus to produce his products. I definitely expected the same here, but obviously not to this extent. It was somewhat fine because his Discord was open throughout most of 2023 for updates regarding module production and people being able to publicly ask questions. It got a bit annoying when Discord was fully locked and it required Etsy messaging to get any piece of information. My latest question was sent in January with no response. Definitely wish I waited a bit for Houdini Stick, since I was quite active in the Ocarina of Time Discord and would have been cool to support other Ocarina of Time runners' business. I didn't order a stick, but I ordered multiple bowls. One I received like 6 months late, and then he changed the housing and the next was broken upon arrival. He said he'd replace it and haven't heard back since. I also ordered a start button that he gave us all the option for a refund or a bull as a substitute. I opted for a bull that I never received. In the end, I stopped trying to get results and accepted the loss. Yeah, if you want to know anything about the BrewStix stuff, I can tell you what I know. I pre-ordered a stick as soon as I heard they were available and got like number 20 or something I don't remember. Took me like 6 months to a year to get the stick, and I've been using it with the parts he sent for a while. I think I recently switched out the gears. As far as refunds and stuff goes, as far as I've seen, people who were upset with wait times were offered refunds. Lots of people rejected refunds and wanted the product. I've not heard any first-hand accounts of people being denied refunds, but I'd be interested to hear what you find out about that. I also know Biinny offered a lot of people to have stick and bull combos sent out without the OEM parts and assembly, plus a partial refund, but I've not actually seen any messages or proof of that outside of Biinny's word and other people saying it was a thing. What were the circumstances of those? I've heard rumors, but I ask around and nobody knows who said what, and it's like, okay. For this one in particular, I couldn't find any proof of him offering something like this. I don't know if it's true, but if anyone watching this video knows, let me know in the comments. Hello? I just wanted to check on the progress of the waitlist. Do you have a good estimate of when I would be able to get my order? Just checking in to see if you received my message. Hey, I'll be going back through messages this week, and I'll get back to you with your current position in line. Cheers, Biinny. I would like to request a full refund for my order if possible. Just messaging you again about a refund. Hello, this is my third request for a refund. If you don't respond, I will attempt to go through Etsy support, which is far less reliable and more complicated. I would greatly appreciate if you could respond now. Thank you. Haven't received mine. I did get a response on Discord before Biinny moved to the UK or whatever. At that time, he said I was 12th in the queue, but that he couldn't guarantee an ETA because it was unpredictable how long it would take to make modules, since he wanted to make them perfect, and some took longer than others to get just right, etc. Hey man, I'd like to know my spot in the queue if that's fine. I just found out that's a thing, so I got curious for some insight. Hey man, I didn't know about your situation. Sorry about that. I hope you've been recovering well. Hope it's okay that I would ask for a refund. I've got a lot of plans this summer, and I would consider buying a BrewStix some other time. It's pretty urgent, man. I'd appreciate a response. It's basically $380 I paid, by the way, with shipping from the US. I really needed the refund from financial stuff, and it hurts to not even hear a single word. He ordered in September 2022. And that's all of the responses I received. I think it's clear that Biinny is dishonest and sets deadlines he knows he can't hit, all while failing to provide any transparency to those he most owes it to. It was really ironic when I found this screenshot where he says, I only owe the people who have pre-ordered, and they will get their modules. One of his worst H statements, and there are many. One last thing I pre-ordered, and they will get their modules. One of his worst H statements, and there are many. One last thing I'd like to add is that by trusting Biinny's word, if he has 30 to 40 orders left to fulfill, he still has almost $14,000 worth of modules that he needs to send out. And that's if we assume he's being truthful. Also, why couldn't he give an exact number? He's the one selling them. Why is it an estimate? My intention with this video is not to destroy Biinny or BrewStix64, as I think they make a very, very, very high quality product. Rather, my intention is to reveal the truth that many have been scared to talk about, either out of fear of losing their money or jeopardizing their chance at getting a module. My hope is that everyone who is owed something will be fairly compensated by Biinny, and that we never see a situation like this ever again. Thank you for watching, subscribe if you like this, and have a wonderful day.
Well, this video will surely, get the train rolling once again. I'm sure Biinny just kind of forgot about the whole thing, and this is just a nice reminder that, oh yeah, there are sticks to get out there, so sure he'll get them out there, and that'll be good. But yeah, that really fucking blows for the people that are like, it's one thing to be like, okay, yeah, I'll just keep waiting, you'll find a way to play, you'll get a stick or whatever, but the people who are asking for refunds and not getting them is kind of cooked. I think I like the Houdini doesn't really have a wait list, does he? He just does like he just like announces that he has more in stock, and then once he's sold out, and it's that easy. Like, I think that should be the standard for sticks. Yeah. No, the waitlist shit is ass, but thankfully there are other people that have made them. I don't know what it is about these sticks. I think it's just because it's such a niche product that you can't get like a whole ass factory dedicated to making them. So I guess making them is like, it just takes a lot of time and effort, and everyone who makes them seems to get cooked at some point. What is Punk's message? I got my brew stick after only like 1 to 2 months, if I recall correctly, even though people had been waiting for a year, because I'm guessing he wanted me to say good things about it on stream. I've played on it for like 30 minutes, and he kept on messaging me, and I had to tell him that. It feels good, though. I think it's a good product. Wait, what do you use now, Punk? Nomad stick? Wait, so you're just chilling with a brew stick? He just plays WoW now. Yeah, that is also fucked. Like, just it's such a messy situation. It is a very, very messy situation.